Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the broadcast. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. It is Saturday, April 27th, 2019. I'm here with you again for another show. I wanted to be here yesterday, but a lot of noise and shit going on around the studio, so I was unable to broadcast. But now it's quiet, so I'm back here with you to do yesterday's show today. So thank you very much. Thanks to everybody out there for your continued support and listenership. I've got quite a bit of news stories, quite a bit of things I want to get into with you here tonight on a lot of different topics. Lots of interesting stuff. So we'll get into all that. Got a few more comments and stuff I want to talk about the Graham Hancock thing. We'll get into that not very much, just a few small things. And now then we'll get into the news and all the other stuff. So there you go. This is our fundraising time of the month where we have to cover the operating costs and everything. We've got to reach 100% of our operating cost by the end of the day on Wednesday. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday is when we need to have 100% of our operating cost goal met. And the way that you contribute, if you need to do so, is to go to the, we have the contribution fundraising page. I always put the links on, no matter how you're listening, you can find it if you're listening on the archives in the Podbean archives, you'll find that in the link to the show. You'll also find it on our Facebook pages, the Global Reality Radio Network Facebook page, and the Josh Reeves Filmmaker Talk Show Host Explore page. All the fundraising links and updates and everything can be found there. So if you haven't given us a like over there on both those Facebook pages, please go and do that. You also can find them in the comment section of the YouTube videos. I pinned it to the top comment so you can easily see all the places. And there's links in there for the contribution page to contribute. There's links in there to the download shop where you can download all my films, presentations, audiobooks. The newest in there is the 5-part Mystery Hollywood series, which, again, if you haven't seen that yet, you should get on that and watch that immediately. A lot of you have only got the first couple of parts, and I'm telling you, it doesn't even get good till part 3. So if you put off getting the rest of those parts, go and get those. Watch that this weekend. If you haven't seen it yet, watch that now, man. For real. It's mind-blowing. Lost Secrets of Ancient America, Volume 1 and 2. Those are in the download shop as well. Spellcasters, Volume 1, Volume 1.5. I'm working on Volume 2 and Volume 3 now. Getting real close. Real close. We are going to see Part 2 out sometime in the next week. Last week set me back because we had computer issues. Set me back financially. I had to put all what little money we had from this month into that and getting the computers back up and running. But we're good now, so we just need to reach 100% of our operating cost goal no later than Wednesday at 6 p.m. If you wanted to make a decent-sized contribution, a great way to do that right now, I just put this on the Facebook pages earlier today, but it's the first time I've announced this on the show. This week only, if you buy a lifetime membership to the members' archives, where the shows get posted immediately, within seconds of them being finished, they go up there. And that's the best way to get the show, to ensure you don't get, who knows what else they're going to be doing with YouTube in the future. I'm not going to be, I've been trying to go back and forth, because they've demonetized my YouTube channel for the second time, yet again, for no reason. They say, oh, fix what's wrong with your channel, and then you can apply for remonetization again in 30 days. Well, they're not giving me, just like they did with other people. They give me no reason because I haven't violated it. My account's been in good standing. I don't have any copyright strikes, nothing like that. I'm in no violation whatsoever. They just decided they don't want monetization on there anymore, which hurts our work. It's another way for them to try and hurt us. So, I will still be putting some shows on YouTube. Probably what I'm going to be start doing. Well, not probably, for sure what I'm going to be start doing. And this will happen because, like I said, after I get these films done, there's going to be more shows. And not only are there going to be more shows, I'm going to be doing some different shows too, music shows, different stuff like that, which people have asked for. And I am going to start putting up some, there'll be the same amount of shows that you've been getting on YouTube up till now, but there will start being some archive member only shows that will be in the members archives, and the only way they won't be on YouTube. The only way you'll be able to get those will be in the members archive. So once I'm back to do more shows a week, it'll probably be like, there'll be a couple on YouTube, and then there'll be one or two every week in the archives that you'll only be able to get there. I've been trying to figure out a way to kind of do that for a while. I think that's the best way to do it. But with that said, this week only, if you get a lifetime membership to the archives, normally they're $500, but that gets you lifetime. And you get all the shows going back however long, and you don't have to worry about paying $10. It's $10 a month. You can get the monthly thing where it comes out of your account monthly, $10 for a month. You can buy a year for $80, 6 months for $45. But the best way to do it is just to get the lifetime. Then you don't have to worry about it again. It's on sale right now, this week only. So it's the first time we ever had this kind of deal going. You can get the lifetime membership for $400. So $100 off. So if you were wanting to make a contribution to the operating cost goal this week, I would, if you were wanting to do something around that amount, I would suggest just getting the members' lifetime membership to the archives, and then you never have to worry about it again. So there's links in there's links on the Facebook pages right now for that. You can go check that out. And they're also, I'll put links to them here in the video. You can also go to my website, theglobalreality.com. The subscribe button is on the top right-hand side. If you click that, it will take you to the page where you can sign up for the members archives. And it's updated right now with the $400 special, and therefore the lifetime membership. If you haven't got a membership, now's a good time to get one no matter what level you get at. But I just want to let you know that a lot of people have been told me they've been thinking about getting the lifetime. So now would be the best time to do that. And then you don't have to worry about that anymore. Again, we don't have advertisers and sponsors, and I don't sell stuff. And I've been on air in September. It'll be 12 years that this show's been going, but in December this year, it'll be 10 years since I started my own platform and started the Global Reality Radio Network, which is my own platform to do my show, because I'd been on a bunch of other networks before that. And from when I started this network in December 2009, that was my goal from the onset, because I experienced so much. And a lot of people don't talk about this because they don't want to say it. They don't want to piss off their sponsors. But the fact of the matter is, if you have sponsors, those sponsors will try to dictate to you what you can and can't talk about. And if you say one thing, the thing is, you don't even know. It's not like they give you guidelines and say, okay, you can talk about this and talk about this, but you can't talk about that. It doesn't work like that. That would be easy. At any reason, at any time, if you say anything that they don't agree with, they'll cut you, or they'll cut. And that's what happened. I was on all these networks, and the sponsors kept threatening all the networks I was on if they didn't pull my show off. It's not like I was talking about anything crazy, and I wasn't being, crude or hateful or anything like that. I was just talking about the CMP stuff. That was the biggest thing I didn't like, was the Council for National Policy stuff. That was the biggest thing that all sponsors did not like me talking about. So my work and what I do here is 100% funded by you, the listener. I don't have any outside funding. We don't have any sponsors, anything like that. So our survival month to month, and the work that I do in the films and the audiobooks and the radio shows and all this stuff is dependent upon the listener's contribution. So every month we have our fundraising month around this time. And that's why we need your support. Check out the campaign fundraising page. Got a lot of perks in there. Check those out. It's PayPal only on that fundraising page. If you want to use a credit card without using a PayPal account, or you want to use like a prepaid debit card, you don't have a bank account, something like that, you want to use cash, you can go get a one of those prepaid cards. You can just send me the numbers and the info on it, and I can process it on my side. But if you want to use a credit or debit card, not PayPal, go to my website, theglobalreality.com. Scroll down on the right-hand side of the page, and there's a donate button there with PayPal, and you can go through it that way as well. Back to, I had a couple more comments on the Graham Hancock, Joe Rogan thing. I told you if I forgot to mention anything, I'd say it the next show. The only thing I forgot to discuss and talk about was the majority. I don't know. I found it very interesting that the timing of this, because Joe Rogan always does he always live streams the shows on YouTube. And I think the day of the show or the day before the show, Graham Hancock himself put out a post about it, saying that it was going to be coming on or being coming on YouTube. And he said, but because of a new Joe Rogan policy, the show won't be streamed live. And I thought that the timing of that was kind of interesting, kind of suspect. In fact, that's all the comments. Remember I was telling you that I could tell some of these comments were bots? Yeah, that was why. I don't get it. That's why I think a lot, and again, I think all those comments are fake. He's pissing off somebody. But I guess people think that, they're now, they're going to edit shit out, stuff like that. I couldn't care. I'm not a fucking, I watch a show for intel purposes and stuff like that, but I don't know what all the fuss is about. To me, it seemed like the timing of it was done so that the comments about him not doing live shows anymore would eat up the comments, because they fucking knew we were coming. They knew you and me and our listeners and followers. They knew we were coming. And again, I don't believe in coincidences. I've seen too much shit, man, to ever believe in coincidences ever again. I believe 100% that's exactly what they wanted to happen. So that any contrary information or, stuff like what we were putting out and stuff about the plagiarism and all that would be completely, watered over, just washed over with the comments of everybody freaking out because he's not doing the live shows. And that's exactly what happened. The majority of the comments weren't anything to do with the information. The majority of the comments on that show were because Joe Rogan no longer does live shows. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is. But I've started to see this. Joey Diaz also does a podcast video thing, and you go watch some of his shows. I mean, they're fucking nuts. I mean, they'll eat mushrooms and they'll eat acid on there, and they'll fucking, 1,000 milligram edibles. One time they did like 2,500 milligrams of fucking edibles. It's insane. And about a week ago, Joey did this podcast, and he's talking about, we're not going to be doing all this stuff anymore, this, that, and all. And a lot of his shows aren't live now. And then a week later, Joe Rogan makes that decision. I think these guys know something, or something's coming down. They know something that the rest of the people don't know yet. Something's going on for these guys to all be making this decision all at once when they've been doing it. And the very next show after the Graham Hancock show that Joe Rogan had was Be Real from Cypress Hill. And you've seen, Joe Rogan always smokes weed on air and shows. And remember he had the fucking famous Elon Musk show last year where Elon Musk took like one toke and it fucking basically blew up the whole planet Earth. It was such a big deal made out of that. The guy took one fucking puff. Who cares? And then all of a sudden he has Be Real on, and they're not smoking anything. Be Real, as you know, Be Real's from Cypress Hill, is the biggest fucking smoker in the world. He's even got his own show where he smokes weed with famous people and stuff. The Smoke Box and all that stuff. So all of a sudden, that was bizarre. That was something weird's going on. And, with all these fucking Silicon Valley people he's had on, like the Twitter guy, I don't know, man. I think he's got inside information of something that's coming. Maybe some further crackdown that YouTube's getting ready to do that nobody really knows yet. I mean, it's not out of the fucking question. I mean, it's not out. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary considering what we've seen YouTube do out of the blue with literally no explanation and just all of a sudden, you know, when they started going after alt-right channels and all that stuff. But again, you know, I've said many times, I'm not an alt-righter. I'm not a left-winger. I don't believe in any of those phony left-right paradigms at all. And I'm not a joiner, or I don't join groups or anything else. I never have, never will. But because of some of the topics I do talk about here, I get lumped in with all those things, and I'm sick of that. I've made it clear from the very beginning. But there's something going down. There's something up with that. And I think these guys, you know, they got inside information. This stuff's coming down the pike is what I think. What was the other thing I was going to mention about the Rogan show? It was about I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, we did get some comments from the last video where people were commenting about what I said on that accent of Graham Hancock's. And yeah, a lot of people are in agreement with me. We need some more people to leave comments. If you're from the UK, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that. Because everybody I've talked to so far, you know, that's from Britain and from the UK and stuff, nobody can place that accent. He claims it's Scottish. I don't know who the fuck from Scotland would ever talk like that guy does. You know who really? I can't. It's not a joke. You know, the only other people I've ever heard that talk like that are people who are agents, MI6, MI5, British intelligence, CIA, etc. But one of our listeners, oh my God, I had such a fucking laugh about this earlier today. Because remember the other night when I was talking about that in his accent, I said there was some movie, some TV show, I can't remember what it was, years ago, where it had a character in it where, you know, this guy's using this fake British accent, trying to sound austere and like he's an intellectual, but he's really just some goofy guy who talks in a normal American accent, you know, just, and one of our listeners reminded me today of the comment of who it was and what movie it was, and man, I lost my shit. You know how, you know, sometimes you forget something that's funny and then you remember it and it just cracks you up. That's how it was for me. Lee Evans was who that was. It was the actor who did that. And it was in the movie, There's Something About Mary. I fucking cracked up. Remember that? He was one of the dudes that was trying to hook up with Mary, and he was in the wheelchair and he was faking the accent and shit. God damn. I'd forgot about that movie. I probably hadn't seen that movie since, you know, around the time it came out, which was 21 years ago. Remember that black guy in it? Boy, how did you get the beans? Butter Franks. Franks and beans. Oh, that shit was funny. But I knew it was from something, yeah. And when I went and watched, this is what made me even crack up even more. When I went and watched the clip, go watch that clip and listen to that guy doing that fucking fake British accent and Something About Mary, and tell me that his accent doesn't sound exactly like Graham Hancock's. It blew me away. I was like, oh my God. And that guy's actually British. That actor, Lee Evans. So good on him going back to doing the American accent, because he had to be totally fooled. But yeah, he's a famous British comedian. Yeah, Something About Mary. That's what it was. God, that cracked me up so hard. Rice and beans. That was so hilarious. That dude, oh, hello, Mary. You know, talking that fake austere accent. To me, it sounds just like Graham Hancock's fake accent. I'm telling you, that shit's just fake. No question about it. Because nobody can place that accent, not even people from there. And he sure as fuck ain't from the fucking Highlands. Come on. I could do a more convincing Scottish accent than fucking, I think Graham Hancock can. Fuck you, laddie, you cunt. Fucking Graham Hancock. I'll kick him in his Hancock. Bloody wanker. Nah, I can't do very good. I suck. But yeah, that shit cracked me the fuck up. Because I completely forgot about that. You know, I knew it was something I'd seen where somebody had done that, but I completely forgot it was that movie. It just fucking cracked me up. The hair gel. How did you get the beans but a phrase? Somebody else was talking. Somebody brought up, emailed me when I was talking about the Tupac stuff last time. Somebody emailed me, and I guess this was a couple years ago. I can't remember. I did it a couple times. I can't remember when the last time I did it was. But I don't remember if I was what I was talking about that particular time when I did it, because like I said, I think I've done it a couple times on the channel in the past. But I was either talking about the Tupac stuff, or I was talking about, because I know I had a news story too a couple of years ago. I can't remember if it was a church service or something. I think it was a church service. I don't remember what it was, a commencement speech or something. Anyway, somebody either on purpose or by mistake or something switched out the speech that was printed on paper or on the teleprompter or something. They switched it out with the Hail Mary lyrics for Tupac song. And so this person's just up there just reading these. It's hilarious. But anyway, I guess either that or when I was talking about Tupac or something, some point, I guess I just did like a Tupac impersonation of that song or whatever. It was a couple of years ago. But anyway, somebody emailed me the other day just cracking up about that. It made me crack up just for what they were saying, how funny it was. It's hard to do it on command, but yeah, that's funny. I must have just been feeling it that night, so when I did it. I do some impersonations, yeah. I do some sometimes. I mean, when I'm talking about somebody, I'll do one. I do the Jones. Everybody knows I do the Jones ones. I do some other ones too. I used to do Pastor Hagee all the time. Oh, good God. It's hilarious. But I guess the Tupac one really got him cracked up. What did I do? I think I was talking about the Hail Mary thing, so I was like, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Just the way he would say lines and lyrics and shit, you know? Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Picture paragraphs unloaded. Wild word being sold. Ain't no quickness in this rap game of soda. I don't know the lyrics. But anyway, that's what I was. And like, apparently that cracked somebody up. They kept playing it for the friends and shit. They're like, man, this motherfucker doing Tupac. This white boy's doing Tupac crack. I just do that shit sometimes, you know? I like to do, it's just funny. Some people's, you know, the key to doing, that's what people don't understand. The key to doing a good impersonation is not 100% sounding like the person you're trying to imitate. That's not the key to it. The key is to sound close enough to it, but kind of off a little bit, and then that's what makes it funny. That's the key to doing, that's the key to doing a good impersonation. People who do spot on impersonations like Bill Clinton or, I don't know. I'll take a cheeseburger. I'll give me a cigar to go with it. You know, people try to sound too much like him. It's not right on. I mean, it's just like my Jones impersonation. My Jones impersonation is not 100% accurate, but you know, it's funny enough, folks. I mean, where I'm sitting around here, and you know, we've got military jeeps going by here every day, following me to work. I'm in here trying to fight the New World Order. I'm doing what I can. I got John Reeves over here. He's up my ass. He's been on my ass for 12 years. Thinks he's exposing everything I do. Thinks I work for the CIA. And I'm real. I mean, you know, I can do Jones. Plus, I'm from Texas. He's from Texas. That's pretty easy. But yeah, the Tupac would apparently tickle somebody's funny bone. So there you go. That's for you, whoever that was. That is hilarious. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. All right, let's get into the news here. Elon Musk says Neuralink machine that connects human brain to computers coming soon. And this is the same thing. Speaking of let's not call him Joe Rogan anymore. I like the nickname people were calling him online. I saw Joe Rogan. That's fucking hilarious. That's another one that fucking made me fucking spit fucking water out my nose when I saw that shit. Joe Rogan. They say he looks like a giant toe that needs Rogan. That's fucking hilarious. Joe Rogan. I guess the last time he was on with Joe Rogan, when he took one hit. Oh, heavens. That's some major crime. I mean, he did it in a state where it was legal, so come on. Elon Musk has revealed his Neuralink startup is close to announcing the first brain-machine interface to connect humans and computers. The entrepreneur took to Twitter to tell followers the technology would be coming soon, though he failed to provide details. Neuralink was set up in 2016 with the ambitious goal of developing hardware to enhance the human brain. However, little about how this will work has been made public. The startup's website which is advertising vacancies for 11 different jobs, describes the futuristic technology as, quote, ultra-high bandwidth connection between the human brain and computers. I am a bit confused. Because on the one hand, Musk says, AI and all this poses a great risk. And on the other hand, he's trying to create this company and this machinery to connect the human brain and computers. I don't know, man. I just don't see how... I just don't know how you can publicly say that you see AI as a threat and then be openly developing the technology that would enable this to be a problem. In my opinion, a problem. Because, to me, AI on its own, that could be a problem. Unchecked and unregulated on its own, it could be a huge problem. But once you start interfacing the human brain with these computers that are already connected to these AI systems, I mean, forget cameras and, tracking you on your computer and all that stuff, man. At that point, anything as far as privacy is gone. And this very maybe will well be what they're trying to do. Mr. Musk has frequently claimed that the rapid rise of artificial intelligence poses an existential risk to humanity. Such an interface, he says, is essential if humans are going to compete with such technology in the future. So, okay, wow. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Something about that seems real shady to me. I got to be 100 on it. So AI is a risk to humankind. So your solution is that in order for us to be able to compete with this coming technology, that a human brain interface is essential in that? Man, I have to disagree. I think that that's a trap. Because as soon as that interface is tapped into your brain, no matter what level of brain power you're working with, it's going to know everything that you might do 100 billion steps before you could ever think about doing it, because it's going to have that profile of your neural synapses. And so as soon as you plug into it, the AI is immediately going to learn how your brain processes information, and it's always going to have the upshot on you. It's always going to be better at that point. So I have to disagree with that. That sounds very dangerous, and it certainly doesn't sound like the interface is essential if humans are going to compete with such technology in the future. So AI is dangerous, but merging with machines is the answer so we can compete with it. Well, how about we stop thinking about computers and AI and all this stuff and humans as competing with each other? Shouldn't computers and AI and technology and humans be working together? for mutual interest. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Again, it's coming from the perspective of people who know more than what we're being told. And that's the only reason they're saying this. So when you see their statements, they seem kind of odd. You wonder why they say something like that. It's because they're working from the standpoint of knowledge that the rest of us don't have. They know this stuff is a foregone conclusion already. I mean, if we're responsible with the AI technology and we use it in a responsible way, there should be no reason why humans should ever have to compete with it. Now, I understand that robots and all that rest of that technology are going to make many, many jobs. They already have, and it's going to even get worse over the next 10, 20 years. This next coming decade is when we're going to really start to see it get bad. The replacing of, just stuff, a lot of the jobs that the Mexican immigrants come to the United States to do are going to be first on the chopping block. I mean, they've already got robotic kitchens coming in the works, robotic drive-through restaurants. I mean, you're going to go to McDonald's and Burger King soon, and they're already testing this stuff. I mean, it's already here. You're going to go to, they've got grocery stores now. Walmart has one that they're rolling out soon, or have rolled out one test store where, there's literally no human beings working the fucking whole thing. All the inventory's done with AI systems and robots, all the stocking. You've got self-checkout centers, all that. I mean, robotic farming is coming. They've already got stuff testing that. So a lot of, robots and robotics, I think, are going to be the more thing where you're going to have competition. And if you had systems that, those exoskeletons and things that they've had for many years that they haven't rolled out yet, they can give you superhuman strength and all that stuff. That's going to be where the competition with robots and humans comes in. But as far as like AI, the competition between AI and humans, artificial intelligence versus real human intelligence, and the idea that in order to compete with that, we have to merge with machines and computers and interface with our brains with computers, just sounds like a trap to me. I don't love the idea of being a house cat, but what's the solution, he said. I think one of the solutions that seems maybe the best is to add an AI layer. And then it talks about the things he said on the Joe Rogan show after that. Yeah. I don't know, man. History's written by the victors, as they say. Here's another one. The Pentagon is investing in space robots to repair satellites. The Pentagon's research office wants to send robots into space to inspect and repair the nation's satellites. Today, the U.S. has more than 400 military, government, and commercial satellites circling the globe in geosynchronous Earth orbit. A GEO, a celestial path, a celestial path about 22,000 miles above the ground. These high-altitude satellites are ideal for telecommunications, meteorology, and certain military applications, but when they break down, it's nearly impossible to fix something far out in the cosmos. 22,000 miles above Earth is not far out in the cosmos. Who the fuck writes this garbage? In the same fucking paragraph, you say 22,000 miles above the Earth, and then you say far out into the cosmos. 22,000 miles above the Earth is not far out into the cosmos. Give me a fucking break. I can't believe an editor or anybody. Well, you know what? There's another thing. There's a lot of these articles being written by AI now, too. This is probably an article about robots written by robots. Enter space robots. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, believes space-based robots offer the best bet for inspecting and repairing high-altitude satellites, especially with the number of satellites set to skyrocket due to a budding space force and federal agencies and industry ramping up operations. Under the Robotic Servicing of Geosynchronous Satellites program, DARPA will partner with teams to build both robots that can maintain and upgrade satellites as well as the spacecraft. To move the bots through space, once deployed, the tech would periodically check in on different satellites and service them as needed. And again, this is another one of those things. There's so many technologies they're just now starting to tell us about they've had for years. People just think that the high resolution satellites and images, have just gotten good over the past 10, 20 years when They've been really good since the late 1960s. Last week I heard or saw when I was going through the news, when I was doing news gathering last week, I saw a report saying that that Britney Spears had checked herself into into some kind of mental health facility, and that she'd suffered some kind of breakdown. And boy, I couldn't believe it. Well, I guess I can believe it. When this came out this week, because we've talked about this guy before, Sam Lutfi, or Lutfi. Remember we talked about him? We talk about him in the Mystery Hollywood series because he plays into that, believe it or not. And apparently, according to Britney Spears, all that stuff about her entering into a mental health facility was all cooked up and created. It was all a lie, and it was all cooked up and created yet again by this Sam Lutfi character. And to me, it sounds like he's trying to kill her. I'm worried for Britney. It's not a joke. I'm legitimate. I've never been a big fan or anything, but just knowing what I know about this guy, man, this guy is a cold-blooded killer and a murderer, and he seems to be operating above the law. I mean, he's threatened murder on people, and he threatened to have, what's her name? Frances Cobain's ex-husband murdered over the Kurt Cobain guitar. We talked to this guy before. Somebody needs to get that girl away from that dude quick. Britney Spears has insisted that all is well and she'll be back in the limelight soon, while also blaming a recent controversy on her ex-manager, Sam Lutfi. The entertainer, 37, took to Instagram on Tuesday with a brief video clip in which she gave fans an update on her personal life alongside a lengthy caption in which she gave further context to her situation. The Grammy-winning singer revealed in the clip, "My family's been going through a lot of stress and anxiety lately, so I just needed time to deal, but don't worry, I'll be back very soon." She added a detailed caption to the video in an effort to clear up any misconceptions the public might have as she sought help at a mental health facility earlier this month. "I wanted to say hi because things that are being said have just gotten out of control. Wow. There's rumors, death threats to my family and my team, and so many other things crazy that's being said." Now that indicates to me that it's probably, I mean, she's saying all this stuff's coming from him. We know he's made death threats before in the past. Even Crazy Courtney has cut bait with him, but I think largely that was because of what I exposed in the Mystery Hollywood stuff. It was like 2 days after I exposed that shit that she cut ties with Lutfi. I'm trying to make a moment for myself, but everything that's happening is just making it harder for me. Again, man, this guy's been trying to gain control of her money and all that stuff, that, when she went bonkers and shaved her head and all that stuff, he was controlling of him. This guy's a major MK Ultra handler, and he's operating with the highest clearance level because he seems to be running clear of any prosecution or anything like that pertaining to this stuff. So, man, this guy, he seems to be untouchable. This guy's scary, man. I love how they go back and forth from calling him Lutfi to Lutfi. I pointed that out. Both these articles, one of them calls him Lutfi, the other one calls him Lutfi. And I've made that comment before that I don't think that's a coincidence. Seeing there's two different articles on this subject and seeing his name spelled both ways in both articles tells me that's definitely the case. I'd posted this on the Global Reality Facebook page. Not really a big surprise, but again, right here in your face. Further confirmation of what I talk about in the Spellcasters film. And with Spellcasters 2 and 3, even though these films are about music and music industry and different, music stars and stuff, one of the things that's taken so long, one of the things that I've really taken pride in doing that you'll see once you get to see all these films is that there is a direct line that goes in a thread that goes directly through part 1, 1.5, and then all the way through 2 and 3. It connects it all together. So I'm really proud that, I've almost got this completely done and accomplished, because it's really been something I've really, really painstakingly done, and wanted to make sure that that comes across, when you watch all 3 films. But again, further proof would be, like we needed it, of the Hollywood CIA connection. Former CIA deputy director, and that's, if you don't know about the hierarchy of the Central Intelligence Agency, the deputy director would be the second in command at the CIA. Former CIA deputy director David S. Cohen appears on Game of Thrones. Sunday's Game of Thrones episode featured another one of the show's trademark unexpected cameo appearances when former CIA deputy director David S. Cohen appeared on the screen. Obviously, there was no problem keeping it a secret until eventually the CIA was in the clear to tweet about it. A perk of working for the CIA is world travel. Apparently, that sometimes extends to other realms. Little birds, be on the lookout for a former deputy director of ours wandering through in tonight's episode of Game of Thrones. Cohen can be spotted in a scene that features Sir Davos Seaworth trying to motivate some weary citizens of Winterfell before the incoming battle with the White Walkers. The former deputy director under President Obama confirmed his appearance on Twitter. So there you go. Why would there be CIA guys even around the set of that? Because, listen, I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. I've never watched one single episode. I never will. Fuck that stupid show. I know there's a lot of you out there that love it, and that's fine. But, listen, I'm not going to watch anything that's nothing but these, elite bloodlines fictionalizing their fucking, butt fucking, these guys are incest, butt fuck, gay sex, fucking, bloodline shit. That's what they're into. And that's all they've done is they just package that shit that their bloodline elite people are in. They package that shit in with some dragons and some butt sex. And, I have no interest. I knew what that shit was as soon as I heard about it when it first came out. And, it just never interested me, because I already knew that that's what these elite at the highest levels, going back centuries, these guys have been into this stuff. So it's just not entertaining to me, because it relies on people thinking it's just all fiction and it's all just dragons and swords and all this shit, when really what it is it's this ancient history of these elite bloodlines and their antics, and it's a way for them to be able to see, their own bloodline stuff happen and have all the sheep thinking that it's just some kind of fucking fiction made up, and they get everybody into it. Not me, Jack. Not I, said the fly. What else we got? U.S. Navy is finally taking UFOs seriously. New guidelines will make it easier for sailors to report sightings amid fears the unidentified flying objects could be advanced Russian technology. This is, come on. How long are they going to be? But I get it. It works. A lot of people think that a lot of the UFO sightings, especially in the 1980s, a lot of people believe a lot of those sightings were, secret Russian. It's a great idea. Hitler was even doing the same thing. Hitler was building fake UFOs for surveillance and reconnaissance purposes. That's a fact. You can look up, there's blueprints and stuff of them. And in fact, BMW the BMW Motor Company actually made the engines. No shit. They made the engines for the Nazi flying disc UFO thing. I think that maybe they probably shouldn't have painted swastikas on the outside. If you want people to think the fucking aliens are invading, maybe you leave the swastikas off. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, this is something that's been, I think government's been, I don't think 100% explains the UFO phenomenon away. I've seen some stuff myself that I could guarantee was not some sort of, secret reconnaissance plane or something. When you see the way these things maneuver and the speed in which they move, I mean, I've seen a lot of UFOs, man, and they're like fingerprints, they're like snowflakes. I've never seen one that was like the other, ever. They've all been different. After years of dismissing UFOs, new guidelines are being introduced in response to a series of unexplained sightings of unrecognized and highly advanced aircraft encroaching on Navy facilities and strike force formations, the department says. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and/or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges in designated airspace in recent years, a spokesman for the Navy said to Politico. For safety and security concerns, the Navy and the U.S. Air Force takes these reports very seriously and investigates each and every report. Well, they didn't used to. And that's why they're having to do this, because, I mean, I've talked to pilots before. Ask any pilot, man. Same way in the Navy with Navy pilots, and a lot of these Navy pilots, after they're out of the Navy, become airline pilots, and they'll all tell you. I've talked to them, had drinks with them, stuff before. It's a kiss of death. It's the kiss of death. These guys see stuff every time they go in the air. A lot of them. Every time. Because I've asked the pilots before, how often do you see what you would call unidentified? Every day. Every fucking time I'm in the air. But there's this thing where, you know, if you report it to an official source, they basically use it to ruin your career. And this is another way that they have enabled this cover-up to continue all these years, because they've made it literally a death sentence for your career if you're a pilot and you report seeing something. So why would they change this now? Oh, under the guise the Russians might be. Well, listen, the Russians have had our technology for 50, 60 years, even the early stealth technology and stuff. You know, there's no, that's all bullshit. That's something they try to sell you to. The reason why they're instituting these new rules is because right now there seems to be a large amount of sightings going on all over the world. Again, I don't doubt that some of that stuff is secret military technology. A certain percentage of it absolutely is secret military technology. And I think the other percentage of stuff is unexplained stuff. But, you know, to say that that everything unidentified is all aliens is as silly as saying that everything in the sky that's unexplained is military technology. You know, people tend to go to one extreme or the other when it comes to these subjects, but really, you've got a whole mixture of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff in the sky. You know, anytime I go on road trips, or when I went on road trips with the Lost Secrets of Ancient Americans, I've always made it a point to go out and, you know, when I'm out in the desert and stuff, and God, you go out in the middle of the desert, like in Mexico and Arizona, so we're way far away from the city lights. I mean, you'll see, you go out there and look for 5 seconds, you'll see some shit. All kinds of stuff, unexplained stuff. And there's all kinds of stuff going around up in our upper atmosphere that if you live close to a city or somewhere, you just can't see. There's a lot of traffic going on up there. And not all of it is earthbound traffic. What else? Oh, yeah, here it is. I didn't know I actually had it up. This is what I talked about earlier. Walmart experiments with AI to monitor stores in real time. Who's minding the store? In the not-too-distant future, it could be cameras and sensors that can tell almost instantly when bruised bananas need to be swapped for fresh ones and more cash registers need to open before lines get too long. Yeah, see, again, managers, store managers, thing of the past. So this is a little different. This actually, you know, has humans still in the chain, but only, you know, to stock stuff or switch out bananas for fresh ones, or, you know, refill the lobster tank or something. Yeah. No, I think that's being generous. Even that's going to be gone in the not too distant future. What else we got here? Let's see. Oh, here's another one on that same subject. 57% see artificial intelligence as a threat to the human race. 57% of voters believe that artificial intelligence, at least somewhat, is a threat to the human race. A Rasmussen National Survey found that 43% disagree and do not see it as a threat. Those figures include 16% who consider AI is a very serious threat, while 10% of the population is complete and utter dumbasses say that it is not a threat at all. Yeah. And so 10% of those people surveyed are just complete morons who still watch in the heat of the night reruns and eat fucking KFC. Concern about AI threatening the human race has been a regular feature of science fiction films, including the classics, blah, 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 blah. 57% of people out there. That's a pretty good number. What else? Oh, come on. Stuff's moving slow for me here, folks, so bear with me here for just a minute. I've talked about sports fakery on the show many times. I talked about this around the Super Bowl. And listen, man, I'm sorry to have to tell you this. It's just a fact. I mean, if you're still watching sports in 2019 and you still think it's real, and you're listening to this show, bud, you're putting the cart before the horse. Really. Everybody for years has known, wrestling and WWE and all that's fake, and it gets so much more of the blame when virtually every sport. I think probably at this point the only sport that's probably not completely 100% fake is hockey, and I'm sure it's going to get there. But yeah, I mean, it's been going on for. Listen, with the NFL especially. I mean, ever since Roger Goodell took over. I mean, I think Goodell in his first press conference when he took over the NFL. He even said in his first press conference that the NFL is a sports entertainment league. And people don't understand that these are not just random classifications. There is a difference between professional sports. A lot of people don't know this. Professional sports and sports entertainment are two different things. And anything that calls itself sports entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, which there's only like 2 or 3 things, 3 or 4 things that are classified as sports entertainment, and WWE and in the NFL are one of them. And now, from what I understand, Major League Baseball is the same way. And when they use the term sports entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, that means that's why you see things, blown calls. It's entertainment. It's not real sports. It's now become entertainment, and here's more proof of it. MLB hitters are blasting homers at a record rate, and they're just getting warmed up. I want you to hear this quote. This quote blew me away because the guy that made it is a starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. You got to hear what he says. It's not exactly true that the Baltimore Orioles pitching staff is single-handedly responsible for the staggering spike in home runs across Major League Baseball this season. But when you're standing on the mound or sitting in the dugout at Oriole Park at Camden Yards watching another long flyby leave the yard, it's natural sometimes for it to feel that way. I've never seen home runs given up like we do, Orioles manager Brandon Hyde marveled last week. That's because no one has ever seen home runs given up like the 2019 Orioles. Before this month, the Major League record for homers allowed before the end of April was 50 by the 1996 Detroit Tigers. The Orioles zoomed past that record on April 20th, the day that saw them give up 11 long balls in a doubleheader sweep at the hands of the Minnesota Twins. Entering Friday with 5 days left before the calendar turns into May, the Orioles' total sat at 59. But the Orioles are merely an extreme example of something taking place all across the game. Even in an era of unprecedented league-wide home run power, the first month of the 2019 season stands out. Entering Friday, teams had combined to hit a record 979 homers, an average of 1.32 per team per game. That's 116 more than teams hit in April 2017, a season that would eventually see a record 6,105 homers. In other words, the 2019 home run rate is 5% higher than the highest rate in history, and up 15% from last year when the league-wide rate dipped to 1.15. And what's truly scary is that the early part of the season normally produces the lowest rate of home runs. What's going to happen when the weather warms, typically resulting in balls carrying even further? At least in Baltimore, nobody seems to have an answer. I have no idea, Orioles reliever Michael Givens said, but for me, it's just really interesting how many balls are going out and how easily they're going out. It's not just the Orioles. Weird things are happening all across the sport. Teams combined to hit 48 homers on opening day, a record for the first day of the season. The Seattle Mariners offense entered Friday on pace for 330 home runs, which would obliterate the record of 267 set by the 2018 New York Yankees. The New York Mets became the first team in more than 100 years to see three pitchers hit homers in the first season, the first season's first month after Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, and Zach Wheeler all went deep. In a game earlier this month, Class AAA International League rivals Lee Valley and Rochester combined to hit a whopping 15 homers in a 10-inning game. This is out of control. These guys aren't even fucking using steroids anymore. This wasn't even happening in the McGuire era and the Sammy Sosa era. It is worth pointing out that all the games in Class AAA this season are being played with Major League Baseball issued baseballs. A change from previous years. There you go. That's the key. They're fucking rubber coating these balls, or they're rubber wrapping these balls on the inside so they're just fucking flying. That's what's going on. They're juicing these fucking balls to try and get the butts in seats, you know? I mean, listen, sports was way better when everybody was roided out of their fucking brains. Guys were on coke, fucking drugs. Sports was way better back when there was no piss tests and drug tests and all that. And sports has been on the decline since then. And since the CTE thing happened in football, listen, I mean, American football could very well be extinct over the next 20 years. People laugh at that now, but you got to understand, because of what the information about CTE and stuff has done, there are a few parents that are even letting their kids play ball at a young level. So that's why they're doing this, man. That's why they're moving it towards entertainment and away from actual sports anymore. But listen to this. This is the quote I was talking about, and this is from Alex Cobb, who's a starting pitcher for the Orioles. Listen to this. I mean, I can't believe that they let him get away with saying this. This is the quote. Quote, I'm amazed the question is even being asked. The ball is juiced, said Orioles starter Alex Cobb, who entered Friday having given up 5 homers in 8 1/3 innings, stretching across 2 starts. Quote, we're in the entertainment industry. There it is. We're in the entertainment industry, and if fans really do enjoy watching home runs, then that's what's going to be done. And that's fine. It's just frustrating to have to answer the questions as if it's performance-based when I've been working on my craft with a certain type of ball my entire big league career, and then all of a sudden it's changed. See what they're doing? See, that's the thing. They're not telling people they made these changes to the ball, so everybody's blaming all the pitchers. So these pitchers who have worked their whole life using the official Major League Baseball, all of a sudden they change it, their numbers start going down, and who are they blaming? They're blaming what this guy is saying, and I agree with that 100%. Hey, y'all want to juice the ball and people want to see home runs, that's fine. That's great. That's what you got to do to get butts in the seats. Let's do it. But don't lie about it and act like it's not going on, and then all of a sudden start blaming pitchers for it. I can't believe he said that. I mean, just that statement of saying we're in the entertainment industry. Man, so they don't want people to know that. Even though when you look at if you look at the business paperwork and stuff and see how these things are classed at, they are classed as entertainment organizations, which means they are for entertainment and they are fake. And it's all about gambling and all about the fucking bookies. I mean, it really is. Yeah, that's wild shit, man. Again, if you're still paying attention to sports, I mean, I'm sorry. You really shouldn't be listening to this show if you're still listening to the sports. That's just that's just 100. Efforts to search for and send messages to extraterrestrial life advance in the digital age. An ambitious new effort is underway to make direct contact with intelligent life beyond Earth, improving upon 70s-era space missions, which included attempts to bring messages from Earth to extraterrestrials. For centuries, we've gazed up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? Some say it's time to move more aggressively. I'm telling you, I've been telling you this for a long time, folks. All these are indicators that they are getting ready. I've been telling you this for many, many years. It ramps up every year. They're really getting ready to do the staged alien invasion thing. I think it's coming sooner than later. I really do. I really think it's coming because, again, over the past 10 years, there's been such a shift where from before it was like, aliens don't exist. You're a crazy kook, conspiracy theorist, nutbag if you even think they do. To over the past 10 years, we've had shows like Ancient Aliens, all this other stuff, movies. They're trying to slowly acclimate people to the idea that, okay, they might be real. Now they're openly saying we're looking for them. Then the story we had a little while ago about the Navy having reclassifications for reporting these things. The fakery's coming, and it's going to get a lot of people. It really is. That's the sad thing about it. It's going to get a lot of you. I'm going to try and do my best to keep people from going down that route, but I'm telling you, there's so many people that want to believe it. That if they get on the news tomorrow and tell you that aliens are about to invade us, people are going to fucking think it's real. And that's when they'll really have their claws in us with world government and space-based weapons and all that. I mean, that's what I've been trying to prevent. But hey, listen, when the day comes, I'll be here broadcasting. I'll be here telling you not to believe it. It's interesting. I don't know if I've talked about in the past in my CMP work and with Secret Right and all that. I talked about Tim LaHaye, who started the CMP with the startup money he got from the Hunt oil family. And it's just fascinating. In that book, he's got a conspiracy theorist type character in there. And there's kind of like a Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion tie-in in that book. It's bizarre. Because like the Antichrist shows up and all this stuff, and there's a conspiracy theorist guy in there that's saying stuff that sounds like straight out of like Project Bluebeam or something. The conspiracy theorist guy is telling people, oh, this is fake, this is not real, basically this is a false flag. They're telling you this is the Antichrist and stuff that's not, this is just being faked with holograms and all this stuff, and then the Antichrist comes and fucking kills the conspiracy theorist guy. Isn't that fucking creepy? That fucking creeped me out when I first read that, dude. Because I already knew even then what they were planning with all this staged alien invasion stuff. But to hear a version of that in that Tim LaHaye Left Behind book, man, that is fucking creep fest. Ugh. Listen, that's all I got. I'll be back here again with you for another show real soon. Don't forget to get your contributions in. Get yourself one of those lifetime memberships, $400. Make a contribution to the operating costs and help us reach our goal by Wednesday. I love you guys very much. We'll see you again next time. Take care.